I can't believe it, but the haunt is somehow getting worse and is proving to be one of the most pointless events ever. We're a week or so into the event now, and the new additions aren't helping, and the numbers prove how poorly it's performing. We all know that this is basically a voting event where you vote on screenshots taken with Roblox's new capture feature in participating games. It's supposed to be a costume contest you can enter, but you can take a screenshot of anything and you aren't even required to enter a pic. All you need to do to complete the event and get prizes is spend a couple minutes voting on 5 categories each day, and that was basically it. When I made my video the other day, I made sure to say more could happen in the event because it was still only like day 3. Well, more is happening, and it's somehow so disappointing that I think it actually makes the event worse. One of the things I showed was that Headless Horseman statue with these pedestals around it because clearly that was for something. We now know that the Headless Horseman is going to be the boss battle and that you need to collect skull fragments to unlock it, or do you? It turns out that you actually don't need to do anything because the game unlocks it for you. Here I am at All King 1, an account I haven't used to play this event at all on, yet I have all of these skull fragments unlocked already. There's absolutely no effort required or build up to unlock the boss battle, it's instead just handed to everybody no matter how much or how little they've done. Out of all the events I've played in the 12 years I've been on Roblox, I've never seen one that requires no playing time to reach the final boss. There's no competitiveness or fulfillment from unlocking levels to get to that one last obstacle you have to overcome. You don't have to search for anything, you don't have to defeat any enemies, you don't have to work for anything at all. Instead, it seems to be simply spoon-fed to you for whatever reason, despite the mansion being large enough to do an RNG hunt for them. Building up to unlock each level and defeat the final boss is what made events like EggCon 2018 so beloved, but the event just hands it to you. Even with EggCon 2014, while it was a buggy mess, you still had to compete to unlock each world and get to the final boss, and it was all very rewarding. Those skull fragments all happen to be where those mini games are too, which all happen to be basically pointless and poorly done also. Much like everything else, the pumpkin smashing one feels like it's just there to take up space while being absolutely pointless. There's no indication of how many pumpkins you have to hit, and it seems to just randomly give you the in-game gear reward while you're doing it. Everything feels so meaningless that it's confusing. Like, I simply cannot understand what the purpose of anything in this event is. The best comparison I can make for the gameplay is literally Paris World, where everything you did was pointless and could be done mindlessly. There's no reason for anything existing, there is no important or immersive objectives, everything is just there to be there. Both Paris World and the Hunt have tons of areas to explore, but with nothing to do in them, aside from menial tasks that go towards nothing. Speaking of pointless, the voting system continues to be broken as NPCs, models, and profile pic accessories continue to dominate each category. The entire point of the event being a costume contest was ruined because of that, but there's something even crazier I forgot to mention in my first vid. Prizes are supposed to be given out to the top voted users for each category in each voting round, and yes, there are apparently voting rounds. Now, the issue here is that obviously the majority of top voted screenshots are not avatars or costumes, so what is Roblox gonna do here? Will the top prizes still go to top voted screenshots even though nearly every single one of them isn't actually someone's avatar? Will Roblox disqualify the non-costume screenshots and give the prizes to actual costumes even if they don't meet the voting requirements? Or will Roblox cancel the costume contest prizes altogether after it's strayed so far away from what it was supposed to be? There hasn't been any talk about them other than the top 50 prize glitching out and being given to people at random or for having an unrelated badge. What's supposed to be the main prize for entering your screenshot isn't even being given out properly, so there goes the exclusivity of it. Speaking of the lack of talk, that may come from the game's somewhat poor performance in comparison to Roblox's previous 3 events. The Haunt is on track to have the lowest visits of any of the 4 Hunt events this year, as it only got 35 million visits in the first 5 days. That's a lot, but that's 7 million less than the games, which I feel had some pretty poor teasers and marketing and was very quickly forgotten about. The games ranked last for visits when compared to the Hunt and the Classic, but the Hunt will probably be taking its place. There are multiple factors to its low visits, like school and the other 3 events being trash, but the Halloween theme and strong promotion should have given it a boost. It clearly didn't, and now it's on pace to be the lowest visited event Roblox did this year, and slightly also the lowest rated. We still got some time to go, and maybe the boss battle will be cool, but how rewarding can it be at this point? You don't work towards unlocking it, so it's more like a late update than it is a grand finale to a massive and immersive Halloween competition. This honestly might be the worst unsponsored event ever because there's so little to do and progression towards the climax is all done for you. It's not a great game destroyed by bugs like ACON 2014 or a tedious snooze fest like The Hunt, because at least those had some level of compete and fulfillment. The Haunt has nothing going for it aside from the amazing build, which sadly has been wasted on such a horrible event.